Digital acceleration is here. Health systems are walking the path, but are they in the right direction? Welcome to Patient Journey Pioneers, roadmaps from the top digital leaders in healthcare, who share insights and strategies that are pushing the patient journey to new heights. This podcast is brought to you by Hyro, and I'm your host, Liat Kozuch. Welcome, everyone, to a special pre-ViVE episode of Patient Journey Pioneers. Today, we're giving you an exclusive look at one of the most anticipated events of the year, ViVE 2025. Back again in Nashville, which has become one of my favorite cities. By the way, Nancy, give us a little inside scoop. What made you decide to go back to Nashville?
Well, we really love Nashville getting available dates, and we got lucky and landed some dates. We know everybody loves the city. It's going to be cozy and tight because the building is just going to fit, but we were lucky to get some dates. And that's how we ended up back there.
Awesome. Amazing choice because we're bringing back our honky tonk this year at the same venue. So joining me are three incredible leaders who have also become friends, and we've done this every year now for ViVE. So you ladies aren't just attending the show, you are shaping it. So let's meet each one of you. You'll tell us a bit about your role and then we'll get into the details. So Nancy, let's start with you. What is your role at Health besides just being the community superwoman?
Oh, thank you. Hi, everybody. Nancy Mastriani. I am head of investors and networks at Health. Jodi and I are OGs. We've been Health with pretty much from the beginning. So I run the matchmaking programs, the Provider Payer Connect program. I work on the Investor Connect program and handle some key customers and have the opportunity to work with a lot of the customers on their activations at ViVE and Health.
Amazing. And you help us each year as a fourth-time sponsor now, just figure out our booth plan and the sponsorship plan. So thank you for being such an amazing partner and helping us reach our goals at ViVE. Amanda, tell us a bit about you.
I'm Amanda Cicatelli, Senior Director of Marketing for our U.S. events at Health Inc. I oversee and run marketing for Health USA and ViVE. The day-to-day operations, email, social media, website, ads, anything you see online in any marketing channel is me and many other members of our team that work with me.
Well, you do an awesome job. Jodi, welcome back. This isn't our first episode together, so it's great to see you. Tell us, for those who don't know, what your focus is at Health.
Yeah, so I lead content for US events. Me and my wonderful team manage all of the earned content across our stages, from the main stage to the track stages, as well as the specialty program content that you see within the pavilion stages, our partner programming, our startup pitch competition. So really, if you see something on a stage, someone on my team is managing that. It's very fun.
Amazing. So just a bit about Hyro. We're thrilled to return as a fourth-year sponsor. It's crazy how much we've evolved. This time we're coming bigger and better with a new bold theme at our booth, which is Safeguardians. While 2023 and 24 were about the rise of AI in healthcare, 2025, as we see it, is the year of the Safeguardians. So healthcare heroes who are stepping up to tackle the critical challenges like privacy breaches, AI hallucinations, security risks. Jodi, I see you nodding. I think this is going to be woven into the agenda for sure. At Hyro's booth, it's going to be a hub with a lot planned. Anyone can be a Safeguardian, and we're committed to empowering these leaders to shape a more secure future for healthcare. For those planning to visit, come by. We're debuting our SuperHyro Showcase, which is this new in-booth live theater, even with fresh popcorn. We've got live demo sessions with partners such as Salesforce, Kairos, Gozio, all around patient access. So definitely swing by. We have awesome surprise swag and a raffle of an Apple Watch. Lastly, we're bringing back our honky tonk. It reached capacity last year, so make sure to sign up. It's an invite-only event with an open bar, live band, and don't worry, ladies, it's on Monday evening where there's no ViVE events going on, but we'll dive into the agenda soon. So without further ado, stage is yours. Amanda, I want to start with you. You are one of
First, can you add us to that invite list?
Of course, you are our VIP.
Do I get a cowboy hat again and a bandana? I do remember that.
There's some footage of Nancy dancing with a cowboy hat and a bandana, rocking it to live band. She knew the country music, which was very surprising. By the way, the same live band is coming back this year. So
I'm going to need that footage, please.
We put that in the sizzle, the ViVE sizzle.
Yeah.
Yes. So definitely you are on our door list for sure. And I'll add the link to apply to attend in the show notes. So Amanda, one of the driving forces behind ViVE 2025. What is your strategy for bringing tens of thousands of healthcare stakeholders together to this event? What do you think makes ViVE so unique?
So, in order to bring tens of thousands of people together every year, I think it's a combination of four things in marketing. First, it's all about creating FOMO. I think it's really important in marketing to create FOMO on social media year round, as well as while you're on site at the event. During the week of the event, we have tons of photos and videos and speaker quotes and Instagram stories coming out of our marketing channels the whole 4 days, like every 10 minutes or so, there's something coming out. So I think creating FOMO is number one. Staying top of mind throughout the year is another important part. Using content marketing like videos, blogs, podcasts, social posts year round, not just 3 months before the event to promote it. I think that's a really important part of gathering the community of tens of thousands of people to come back every year and staying on their mind and on their social feeds every week. Number three, sending the right segmented messages to the right people, especially via email, is really important. Just making sure that your messages are reaching the right people that you want to target to come to your event and making sure those messages are relevant to them. Number four, not just marketing, but creating an unmissable event that people will talk about on social media and want to come back to and share, word of mouth, how amazing the event was, and just create this reputation about how ViVE is like the can't miss digital health and health IT event every year that people need to be at.
You truly achieve that goal as a vendor. This is our flagship event. This is where all eyes are on me at the company as like the events girl to bring a splash each year. And so ViVE has become our milestone around new themes and new branding. Good job with that. As a segue to my second question, you mentioned segmenting and the themes that resonate with the right people. What core themes are you seeing this year that resonate most strongly with healthcare executives that shape their event experience for 2025?
If you look through Jodi and her content team's 2025 agenda, which is up on our website, you'll see AI is a major theme this year. It's like, sprinkled throughout the whole agenda in different ways, in different sessions. That's clearly top of mind for everyone this year. Also, cybersecurity is really important for providers and hospital systems to make sure their patient data is being kept safe and secure. So I think those two, for me, are what really pop out from the agenda.
Awesome. Jodi, you're the architect behind ViVE's agenda each year. So a blueprint for driving innovation and improving patient care is probably your goal. What's your approach to crafting sessions that not only capture the pulse of the industry that's ever changing and ever evolving, but also deliver the insights that attendees need to tackle their most urgent challenges and to bring back to their organizations post-ViVE?
I guess we don't really have a set blueprint. I wish we did. I wish there was a tried and true way to know every session is going to hit. But really, I think it just comes down to keeping our finger on the pulse of what's going on within healthcare, not sticking our heads in the sand and pretending that everything is fine. We know there are a lot of challenges. So really making sure that we are reflecting those challenges in our sessions and that we're asking the right questions to our speakers and making sure that they're not going up on stage just claiming whatever they're doing is the best thing that's going to transform healthcare. They want to dig in deeper and get the full story. So we start at ViVE the previous year. So we're writing down notes of what sessions are working, what topics are really popular. We walk through the show floor every time slot and see, okay, this session has an overflowing audience. Let me make note of that for next year. We look at the data and then we kind of build from there. Like, what's a new topic that's come up this year that we should explore? We try new things every year and see if maybe, for example, supply chain is an area that our audience wants to hear more about. So we'll test the waters with a session this year. So it's a lot of trial and error over the years, but I just think from my perspective, would I be interested in sitting in a 45-minute panel discussion on that topic, or am I going to fall asleep midway? If the answer is the latter, then maybe we pivot and do a different topic. I just make sure they're exciting sessions. There are different twists on popular topics out there. I think we have some pretty catchy session titles that will hopefully help get some butts in seats. Given what happened at ViVE last year, the cyber attack happened during ViVE 2024. Now we're a year out from that. So I think we'll have some really interesting conversations on that topic. It's been a year, it's not a question of when, it's a question of if, not a question of if, a question of when your organization will have some sort of threat actor or cyber attack. So how are you preparing for that now? As far as generative AI, that will obviously dominate a lot of conversations at the event. We're kind of outside of its infancy now. We're going to talk a little bit more practically about where it's working. Are companies moving full steam ahead, or are they being a little bit more cautious, as you mentioned before? We'll see. We have some really interesting conversations planned, so we'll see where the tides turn this year on those two particular hot topics.
Is there a hot topic that you're kind of surprised is taking front and center stage?
We have a few topics that are outside of the norm this year. One, with the CEO of Tampa General Hospital, John Corus, will be a conversation around disaster preparedness. Given the hurricane that hit the Tampa area this year, that hospital came away unscathed because of the efforts they had in place ahead of time. I think with climate change, it's something that all health systems should be thinking about. So he's going to give a little bit more color onto what they have done to kind of safeguard themselves in a high threat area to climate change. Another one is psychedelic-assisted therapy. That was a sleeper hit at the health event. So we figure the ViVE audience, full of health systems providers, they should hear about it as well. With a new incoming administration, we're not sure what stance they'll take on that topic, but there's a group of really passionate leaders that want to see these therapies in the hands of patients, including veterans. So we'll have a really interesting conversation on that too. Two kind of more out there topics that I'm pumped about. Another one is actually with the recording artist Al B. Shore, who is a hip hop artist who has a really incredible patient story. He was a lung transplant patient and really went through quite a harrowing journey to get that transplant, and he's going to come and talk about it to our audience. So another kind of out of the norm session, but I think really impactful.
Okay, first of all, kudos on the session titles. Every year I look at your agenda, I'm just like, who thought of that? Like, how great of a title is that? I want to go to each session, but I'm going to have to be at the booth, so we're going to have to divide and conquer. So kudos on that. I'm also
be just like laughing at my desk writing that.
Yeah, you're like, ha, 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 this could be a cute pun, and it actually comes across as like a very witty pun. I do see you guys as like a survival guide in reality as well, escorting these health system executives throughout the years, the breaches and the disasters that they have to learn to overcome.
Yeah.
It is like a true kind of source of knowledge.
I think we try to remain practical, maybe a little controversial in some ways, but we want to address the elephant in the room topics. That's always been a big goal of mine. Even with generative AI, there's so many cool companies out there. There's so many shiny toys out there. But if you don't have the people, if you have shit data, excuse my language, then these shiny toys are not really going to help you much. We want to talk about the practicalities of implementing AI at scale across different health systems and the reality of the situation they're facing financially and operationally. I think we're realists in a way, but we're fun realists.
I love it. My last question to you, even though I have like 10 in my mind, is how do you stay up to date besides the research year after year? What sources do you go to?
Yeah, we do 2 events. We're lucky that we have health. I got a few session ideas just from sitting on health panel prep calls. I was listening to what the speakers were saying, and I was actively taking notes for ViVE. One speaker said something, there was a conversation on a prep call about the Hippocratic Oath and do no harm and how that's controversial in an area where technology is making major inroads in healthcare. And it just got my brain thinking, and I was thinking of the startup mentality of move fast and break things. And then they're talking about the Hippocratic Oath of do no harm. I thought a session on move fast but do no harm could be cool for ViVE. Like, how do you marry those things together? So inspiration comes from, mostly it's from listening to the people that are actually doing the work.
Amazing. Nancy, my dear, my friend of years now, let's move on to you. So you lead ViVE's hosted buyer meetings, and they're always a highlight. Can you break down the process for those who are new for this year as well? How is it structured to deliver value for participants on both sides, and what should we know for this year?
Sure. It's a long-standing flagship program that we run, and we did rename it Provider and Payer Connect because we just wanted to make clarity. We still call it hosted buyers, but basically, it's how do you bring key influencers and decision makers front and center in a way that sponsors are potentially able to engage with them. People joke about speed dating and hinge and swipe right and swipe left. The gist of it is somebody has a specific need or want, and somebody has a given solution. So how can we bring these stakeholders together in a way that's productive for both parties? We have people who apply to attend the program, and those would be the provider and payers who are looking to source new innovation. We do vet all of those people and accept and decline based on a given criteria. We have sponsors who are opting into the program who are basically engaging in meetings. Someone like a Hyro says, hey, we're looking to meet with new potential customers. Essentially, we're creating that sort of speed dating environment. A couple weeks prior to the event, we open up the platform. It allows double opt-in. I want to meet you. You want to meet me. We're not going to auto schedule or force anybody to meet with somebody they don't see value in. We value people's time and don't want to waste anybody's time. And we want everybody to get a positive experience out of the programs. Last year, we did thousands of meetings. We had over 500 participants. This year, we'll probably be in the 750 range. All of those people are meeting with potential vendors, and that technology platform allows us to help them navigate the experience so that the right people are meeting together. We do all sorts of things. We're checking people in and clock watching and making sure people don't log in. And it's like crazy what goes on behind the scenes. You got to be a true adrenaline junkie. We have an incredible team that works on this because it takes an all-out effort on both the human side, the tech side, and bring this all together. And then we execute it all at ViVE. And it's really cool at ViVE because you see this lounge on the show floor with flurry of activity, people, they're 15-minute meetings. We start on time, we end on time, and people will walk by and like, hey, what's going on here? They're curious because there's a rhythm to it after you get through the first meeting or two. And that's essentially what we're trying to do. We're really trying to facilitate the relationships in partnership with Chime, which is an important part of the conversation. The Chime community are coming together, and we really want to help them connect the dots so that they can leave the event, see the sessions, engage as part of the community, and hopefully go home and source some new innovation that provides better healthcare for all of us.
Do you have an interesting success story around these meetings? And by the way, is it still in that area with the small round tables with everyone just chit-chatting and that speed date format?
Yeah, the lounge keeps getting bigger and bigger on the show floor. I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, we hear from people. That's the one thing we wish we had a better mechanism to track because there's just so much activity. I've had sponsors tell me that like they sourced innovation that solved a huge problem, that saved an enormous amount of money. I've heard that it's provided better experiences for patients. They're everywhere. Sometimes there can be long sales cycles. So sometimes you don't hear about it till even the next year and you see the same people in person and they're like, oh, by the way, this incredible thing happened from last year's event, and we don't even know about it until they tell us the story. I always look at it as we're sort of community organizers, but we're also part of community. And it even goes back to like what Jodi and Amanda said. We hear from customers, we hear stories, we share narratives, we market that, we tell it, and hope that everybody gets value from that because that's really the important part of it. But that's really the objective of that program. We think it will continue to be a huge differentiator for us. Our sponsors are the greatest measure. As we continue to see it grow, that tells us we're on the right path.
Absolutely. I think this year we've got 25 meetings, hopefully grow. Best of luck to everyone involved, especially behind the scenes to facilitate all of these meetings. As we do every year, ladies, the Survive at ViVE speed round. Amanda, we're going to start with you. I'm going to go by Amanda, Jodi, then Nancy. So it's going to be one word or a few word answers in our speed round. And I'll start with question number 1. What is the one can't miss experience or session happening at ViVE 2025?
Industry night.
Ooh, tell us more.
I can't say because we haven't announced the artist yet, but I found out today who it's going to be, and it's a big name and country. So get excited.
There's a teaser.
Yeah, we can't wait to put it on social media. I think it'll be a fun.
Amazing. Jodi, the one can't miss, in your opinion?
I'm gonna go for the pitch competition. on a Wednesday of the event in the morning on the country stage. It's an amazing way to culminate the event and everything that took place in the days previous to it. We have some amazing contestants, and I think it's a can't miss session.
Okay. Nancy, I feel like you also wanted to say industry night.
Well, you can't go wrong with industry night. Love the pitch competitions because you see true rock stars. I remember when you guys were a small startup coming out of the pavilion, and now I look at you, I feel like we've been on the journey with Hyro from the very beginning. It's very personal to us. It's super cool when we see companies that come out and then really get traction. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting topics in the AI and interoperability space. There's going to be a lot of conversation and momentum there. And the investor startup area, like we love the startups and we have the investors there to help support the funding, and we want to connect the dots there as well.
What's the most exciting trend you're expecting to see dominate conversations at ViVE 2025?
There's like 12, but I would say I'm most interested in picks and shovels part of AI, kind of what I mentioned earlier, all of the mechanics that go behind the scenes before you even invest in an AI solution as a health system. I think that's going to dominate the conversations this year. Maybe a little less sexy, but I think really important.
Okay. On to you, Nance. What's your top FAQ from attendees? And do you have any survival tips, get it, beyond comfy shoes?
If you're an introvert, find somebody to help you network. If you're an extrovert, leverage the networking. If you use the app and you pay attention to the person sitting next to you having a cup of coffee, you are going to meet incredible people. It happens every single time. It's organic, it's unintentional. Some of it can be pre-scheduled. Just network, and make the most of your time there because you will always get value from that networking.
Yes, nothing like in person is what I believe as well. Amanda, let's take a look into the future. Give us some inside scoop on ViVE 2026. Where will it be located, if you already know, and dates?
So I know that ViVE 2026 is February 22nd to the 25th, and I believe we're back in LA. Is that right, Nance and Jodi?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're back in LA. Yeah, so another year to look forward to after this one's over.
Amazing. So ladies, thank you for joining this special pre-ViVE episode of Patient Journey Pioneers. Your work shaping ViVE is inspiring. I know you're putting a lot of work into this. So to all our listeners, don't forget, visit Hyro's booth. There's going to be fun stuff going on. So thank you so much. And here's to another amazing ViVE. And we'll see you in Nashville.
See you in Nashville.
See you in Nashville.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Patient Journey Pioneers, brought to you by Hyro. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite listening platform. See you on our next episode.